Hello, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film and happy 2019. It's January already and it is time for another 10 fantastic movies to check out on Netflix US. So let's get started with number 10. Tag. As the sole survivor of a horrendous and rather mysterious accident, Mitsuko, a typical Japanese teenager, can safely say that her day has gotten off to a bad start. It seems that an unstoppable force of nature, a doomed field trip and a strange case of amnesia can easily coexist in a bizarre parallel universe. Sion Sono's terrifically weird Tag is one of those movies that I put on, I thought I'll watch a little bit, see how I go, and within 5 minutes my mouth was agape just seeing what happens in that brief time of the movie. It is unbelievable to say the least, and the movie gets progressively crazier as it goes on. It seems to have these beats of extreme violence that is interspersed with maybe 15-20 minutes of this girl just being her, being friends, having conversations with her friends, growing and getting attachments, and then sheer mayhem like you have never imagined before. If you're into crazy Japanese movies, this is one you've got to check out. Number 9, Dog Eat Dog. The story of 3 men who are all out of prison and now have the task of adapting themselves to civilian life. The California 3 strikes law looms over them, but what the hell, they're going to do it, and they're going to do it their way. This is a Nicolas Cage movie that's actually pretty good, directed by Paul Schrader and also starring Willem Dafoe, who gives a terrific performance as a maniac. He just has those bug eyes and that crazy temper that just lashes out. This is a movie just about people that can't break the habit of being who they are and doing the kind of things that they do. It's kind of flamboyantly shot, it uses colour rather strangely and interestingly, and it does have some terrific performances and some good moments of levity throughout it as well. Also, there are some strong moments of violence. Number 8, The Man Who Knew Too Little. An American gets a ticket for an audience participation game in London, then gets involved in a case of mistaken identity. As an international plot unravels around him, he thinks it's all part of an act. This is one of those really silly comedy movies that could have just failed completely if it wasn't for the lead actor. Bill Murray does terrific work in this comedy movie that I pretty much hear nobody talking about, but it's fantastic. It's so funny, so strange, so weird, so entertaining. It's one that I had to put on my list as soon as I saw that it was available to watch. Number 7, Raw. Justin is a first-year veterinary student. Her elder sister is studying the same course at the university. Justin was raised as a strict vegetarian, but as part of the hazing rituals is forced to eat meat. Initially, this has adverse effects on her, but she soon develops a craving for meat, particularly human flesh. Raw is a terrific movie, really fantastic, and the way it uses this lust for blood and meat, almost like a sexual awakening analogy, is terrific. It has some horrific gore, but also some fantastic moments of a person finding themselves trying to figure out the person they want to be. It sounds a little bit weird, and it is, but it is simply terrific. Number 6, Truth or Dare. A harmless game of truth or dare among friends turns deadly when someone or something begins to punish those who tell a lie or refuse the dares. Now, this is my own personal dare to you. This really doesn't belong on this list because it's not a great movie, but I sat through it, and I feel that some other people should have to sit through it as well. It is atrocious. It wasn't a movie that I really was drawn to. It has a horrible ending. It has a senseless plot with a seemingly ghost that wants to play truth or dare. It is bonkersly bad, but if you get a group of friends together who like to make fun of movies, I think you would have a good time watching this, tearing the movie to shreds. If you saw this one, let me know your thoughts on that. I want to know that I'm not the only one that thought this was utter rubbish. Number 5, Hellboy. At the end of World War II, Nazi officers start an experiment to raise the forces of hell through Russian dark mystic Rasputin on a Scottish island. But is interrupted by an allied commando. He prevents the killing and the human demonic half-blood which was accidentally created, and raises this Hellboy as a head of a secret CIA-linked US agency Bureau of Paranormal Research. Hellboy, the kind of reboot, is about to go into cinemas, and I thought it was time to go back and check out Guillermo del Toro's instant classic Hellboy. Ron Perlman really does add a lot to this character under heavy makeup, and it has a distinct visual style that Del Toro always brings to his movies. I thought it was really fantastic, and it's one of those movies that I keep going back to. I wish they had rounded out the trilogy, but you know what, I'm just happy to see the character come back again, and with the trailer just dropping, it's got me enthused, and I want to go back into that world and revisit that fantastic character. Number 4, MOWGLI. The story follows the upbringing of a human child MOWGLI raised by a pack of wolves in the jungles of India. As he learns the often harsh rules of the jungle under the tutelage of a bear named Baloo and a black panther named Bagheera, MOWGLI becomes accepted by the animals of the jungle as one of their own, except for one, the fearsome tiger Shere Khan. I really didn't want to watch this. You know, I had just seen The Jungle Book. It was last year, the year before. I thought it was fantastic, a great live action remake. I've seen countless of other remakes and live action versions of this that I was not too enamoured with starting it. But with some coercion from a friend, I decided to click play and see what this was all about, and I found a tale that was rather enjoyable, a little bit darker than most of the other adaptations we've seen of this before. A great story, and how it deviates from the usual Disney kind of fare midway through was a welcome addition to this story, to see the sort of different path that this was going to follow. Well worth checking out, and if you feel as if you're kind of fed up of The Jungle Book, this is something a little bit different but still within the same world. Number 3, Bird Box. In the wake of an unknown global terror, a mother must find strength to flee with her children down a treacherous river in search of safety. Due to an unseen deadly forces, the perilous journey must be made blindly. Sandra Bullock stars in this movie, which is a kind of cross between The Happening and A Quiet Place, and it's really different. It's not as wacky as I thought it was going to be, and I found myself really invested in the characters. It almost crept up on me how much I was invested in the 3 main leads. You know, you've got Sandra Bullock's character, and we have Boy and Girl, that's their character names. Very young children on this journey. There is a something that we never see that is in the world, and if they see it, people are driven mad and shoot themselves or kill themselves in some way, shape or form. So they have to be blindfolded when they're out in the open. They have to traverse the landscape without one of their major senses. It is really entertaining. It's got some really nice character moments. It's got 2 dual stories going on at the same time as well. A current day one, the travel down the river, and what led our main character to that point as well. It's really well done. Number 2, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. A father and son, both coroners, are pulled into a complex mystery while attempting to identify the body of a young woman who was apparently harbouring dark secrets. This is a fantastic horror movie. You have Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox as the father and son coroner team. You have a mystery set within just an autopsy room as they dissect this body and uncover more truths about what this person is and what has actually happened to her. And that is it. That's where the story is centred, and it is creepy as hell. It gets under your skin, it freaks you out, and it is tremendously well done. You don't need to know any more than that. Don't let anybody tell you any more than that. Stick this on, put the lights out, and creep yourself out. Number 1, Avengers: Infinity War. As the Avengers and their allies have continued to protect the world from threats too large for any one hero to handle, a new danger has emerged in the cosmic shadows: Thanos. His goal is to collect all 6 Infinity Stone artifacts of unimaginable power and use them to inflict his twisted will in all of reality. This was a movie that has been built up for years. Thanos was going to come and really just tear the Avengers apart. And this was a really risky move. It could have failed, but it managed to land extremely well because of the fantastic villain. This really fleshed out villain that we hadn't seen the likes of before. This is somebody who we could see his point of view. Whether we agreed with it or not, we could understand why this character was doing what he was doing. And at the end of the movie, you get a sort of resolution to his tale of sorts. We know there's going to be a second part, but forget about that. This is one of the best superhero movies I have ever seen. I went to see it a couple of times at the cinema and I just marvel at the way it was put together. The sheer organisation of getting all these characters together, splitting them up so they had different pairings, but each one still making an interesting story and tying it all together so everybody got enough screen time was a marvellous achievement, and it works tremendously well. It's why it made it into my top 10 movies of 2018, and it's why you should check it out if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, why not? So there we have it, 9 fantastic movies and Truth or Dare for you to check out this month. I hope you find something that you love there, something that you haven't known about, or something that you just makes you go, yeah, I want to check that out. I would love a recommendation. If there's something you think I should check out, just let me know in the comment box below, and I will see you next month for another top 10. Thanks for watching.